Alright, what's going on, everybody? So, the Nintendo Direct for E3 2021 has just concluded, and I gotta say, Nintendo had a pretty solid presentation. For me personally, if I had to give it a grade, I'd probably give it a C. But if I was gonna look at this objectively, I would say it's probably a B. I think I honestly might have to give this E3 to Nintendo. Because when you look at it, they showed us four new first party games: Metroid Dread, Advance Wars, WarioWare Get It Together, and Mario Party Superstars. Now, they did one of the things that I wanted them to do. When I posted that video yesterday, I mentioned Nintendo going back to the well and digging up one of their older franchises that they haven't done anything with in a while, and that's what they did with Advance Wars. The Advance Wars game is gonna have both the two games in it. It's basically I'm about to say reimagining, but it's like a remake of those two games. And while I'm not fond of that art style, I think that's gonna be a pretty cool game. But yeah, they gave us four new first party games, but unfortunately, they didn't give us new IPs. There weren't any new IPs there, and there weren't any. And I don't care what any like super hardcore Nintendo fanboy says. There weren't any bomb drop announcements. I know people are excited to see Metroid, and for me, I didn't think. I was like, maybe there's like a 20% chance that maybe we'll see something Metroid related, maybe. But I knew that the likelihood of us seeing Metroid Prime there was very, very slim. So I am happy to see Metroid Dread, Metroid 5. And I know a lot of people are going to make a big deal out of Metroid 5 because, as they said, I believe they said this is like the first Metroid game, the first 2D Metroid game in like 19 years. So it's a big deal. But overall, like the games that they showed, uh, there was just four games that they showed for me personally that I'm like, okay, even though I don't think I'll buy these games, and those games that I'm referring to is Metroid Dread, Advance Wars, WarioWare, Mario Party. Like those are the type of games that I guess you could say appeal to me, but I wouldn't pay $60 for. I wouldn't pay full price for that. But one thing that I noticed that we didn't see here, and I know a lot of people are gonna bring this up. We didn't see Bayonetta. I wasn't expecting to see Bayonetta. Once again, I gotta say, Bayonetta doesn't exist. Bayonetta 3 doesn't exist. We haven't seen no gameplay from it. We know the deal with Metroid Prime 4. They had to basically start from scratch again. But what's up with Bayonetta? Why didn't we see that? So no Bayonetta, and then No More Heroes. I was expecting No More Heroes 3. Where was that? I mean, that's coming out soon. So where was that game? But so just to kind of go through some of the stuff that they showed. So the first thing that they showed was Kazuya in Smash. I'm probably saying his name wrong, but the guy from Tekken. And the clip that they showed, the little CGI trailer thing that they showed was Kazuma throwing people to their death. Was that was kind of funny. And then at the end they had Kirby floating back up at the end, which made me chuckle. That's what you can always expect from a Smash reveal, is that 9 times out of 10 it's always going to be entertaining, whether you like the character that they decide to add to Smash or not. Like those CGI trailers are so cool, and it just makes me wish that they would have gone for an actual story mode like the subspace emissary from Brawl, which I wish they would have done again. But yeah, so they got the guy from Tekken in there, and it makes sense given Nintendo's close relationship with Bandai Namco in the past, and it looks pretty authentic to his playstyle in Tekken, and we'll be getting a showcase for that on June 28th. And some of y'all might disagree, some of y'all might agree, but I would say that wasn't a big character announcement. That wasn't a big announcement that a lot of people were expecting. Some people want Doom guys. Some people for some weird reason want Sora. And I'm still expecting a Fortnite character. I believe we have one more character to go for this fighter pass for the final for the final fighter pass, and I'm expecting either a Fortnite character or Crash or Spyro or something. But so the next thing that they showed was Life is Strange coming to Switch, and then they showed a bunch of games briefly. Guardians of the Galaxy, that's coming to Switch. That was at Ubisoft's press conference. Um, Worms Rumble. I've never understood the appeal of the Worms franchise. I didn't even know that was still around, but Worms Rumble, that's gonna be coming out June 23rd. Ascrea Ascending. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know what the heck that was. It reminds me of, like, that art style reminds me of some game called, I think the name of the game is called Slay of Spire or something like that. It reminds me of some other indie game. But so they showed that. They showed 2 Point Campus. And then so after they showed all those games, they showed Super Monkey Ball, Banana Mania, and I lied to you not. I let out a really big sigh when they showed this. At first they started, like, the narration. The person narrating was like, they mentioned a anniversary, and I thought that they were gonna be talking about, like, Kirby or some other type of, Nintendo franchise. But they showed Super Monkey Ball. Is anybody hyped for this game? I gotta know. Is anybody, like, a really big Super Monkey Ball fan? Like, when was the last Super Monkey Ball game? Like, I just don't understand the appeal of those games, but whatever. As I mentioned earlier, they showed Mario Party Superstars. That's gonna have, like, all of the games. So here's a few of the details. All the games are gonna be available online. All the mini games. It's gonna have random matchmaking, and it's gonna have over 100 mini games and a lot of the boards from the Nintendo 64 era. So that's gonna be cool. It's gonna be coming out October 29th. If this was back in the day, I would have bought this, but now I wouldn't buy. Like I was saying earlier, I wouldn't buy a lot of these games for $60. Metroid 5. Once again, that was a big reveal for Metroid fans, and honestly, I might just have to I might just have to just keep waiting for Metroid Prime, because I don't see myself, because with those 2D Metroid games, I end up getting lost, and I would have to look at a guide to complete it. I'm not even gonna feel ashamed for that. But yeah, Metroid 5, that's gonna be coming out October 8th, 2021. And here's another thing I gotta mention, because like, I mentioned in yesterday's video the fact that Nintendo has been silent for so long, but they are dropping. One thing you can say, they're dropping a lot of games this year. In the latter part of this year. So yeah, they're definitely giving us a lot. They're giving us, honestly, when you really think about it, they're giving us way more than Sony, and I guess you could say even Microsoft. Well, maybe Microsoft, they might be head to head. I would have to, like, compare, but other than that, okay. So Metroid 5. Okay. So I did mention the fact that Metroid 5 is gonna be the first Metroid game in 19 years. So I mentioned that, and then they talked about a bunch of other games. Um, Why did I write down? Wait, why did I write down Jump Force? I don't know why I wrote down Jump Force. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. That's supposed to be coming out September 24th. It's gonna have all the DLC. Uh, what is this? Okay, I don't know what this was. I think it was called Cruising Blast. It was some game that they called a smash hit, and I never heard of it. I think it was called Cruising Blast. But for some reason, I wrote down Jump Force for some reason. Um, Mario Golf, they showed off some of the new modes. I don't get the appeal of Mario Golf. Bring back Mario Baseball or something. Um, Monster Hunter. So Monster Hunter Stories 2. Here's the thing I would say, because I was getting. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I've seen enough of that game's story trailers. So for me, I can say this. I appreciate the fact that we got gameplay this time. They show gameplay and not another story trailer. And then they also mentioned the fact that I don't know if this is. I don't know if this is new news or not, but it's gonna have co-op. And then so we got WarioWare Get It Together. And I think I mentioned this in the previous video, but I've always admired the WarioWare games, those type of micro mini games. I think it's a really cool idea. I've never played any of them though, but that's coming out September 10th, 2021. It's gonna have have multiplayer, or I think co-op or something in there. And like one thing I will say before I continue to the next game, I hope that these games, like I hope that a game like this should not be $60. And it's funny because, and I think I mentioned this in a previous video, but Nintendo put out a survey in regards to WarioWare, and it was basically asking people whether they would be willing to pay $50 or whatever for a WarioWare game, which I hope that like this game should be like $40. Even 40 might be a bit too much, but it definitely shouldn't be full price. The next game after that was Shin Megami Tensei 5. They did a gameplay overview. I'll say this: the gameplay looks all right. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a pretty solid game, pretty good game. But visually, it looks dated. Like I know this is on the Switch, and it's not gonna be as powerful as like the PlayStation and the Xbox. But the visuals, it just looks dated. It looks like a early PS3 game at best. But that's coming out November 12th. And then Danganronpa. So I'm probably gonna butcher this. Danganronpa Decadence. That's a collection of the first three games. I never played the game, but I did watch the anime series, the first series, and I thought the anime series was pretty cool. And it's also gonna include a new game called Danganronpa S, which is a board game. And if I'm being pretty honest with y'all, that board game looks more appealing to me than the vanilla games. Other than that, we got Fatal Frame, Maiden of Blackwater. I've heard of Fatal Frame before, never played it. I think this is supposed to be like a remake, but that's coming this year. Then they showed like some DLC for Doom Eternal, the Doom Eternal expansion. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, they announced that. Strange Brigade, I've heard of this. I heard that this game was trash. Mario and Rabbids, we already knew about that because of Ubisoft. Nintendo leaked that, by the way. Advanced Wars 1 and 2, I mentioned that before. Advanced Wars 1 and 2 Boot Camp is going to be basically a remake of the first two games. I could never, like, I can never understood, I can never understand Advanced Wars. Like, when I was younger, I was like maybe 7 or 8 when that came out. And I could never understand it, but I always thought it looked cool, and I always tried to play it. I don't like how this one looks. I really don't. And I hope it's not $60. If they're smart, they should charge 30, because I don't think people are gonna be buying this at full price. But that's coming out December 3rd, and then for the rest of their presentation, they basically focused on Zelda, and y'all already know how I really feel about Zelda. I'm not really big into Zelda, so this whole last portion of the conference really didn't really do much for me, or I can't even say really didn't do much. It really didn't do anything for me. Hyrule. So first thing they showed was Hyrule Warriors expansion. That's the expansion for that Zelda Muso game. That it like visually, because it has that Breath of the Wild art style, it looks cool, but gameplay wise, it's a Muso game. Zelda Skyward Sword, that overpriced Wii game, that overpriced Wii port. They showed that. Game and Watch Zelda system. Nobody cares about that. Breath of the Wild 2. Everybody, all the Nintendo fans was looking for that. So we saw a snippet of gameplay, and that's gonna be coming out 2022. The trailer, it looked cool. It looked cool. I mean, what we saw, but it looked cool, but not for me. So overall, like I said before, I think I would have to give this E3 to Nintendo. I mean, don't like push all that fanboy crap aside if you're one of those crazy, Sony fanboys or, Microsoft fanboys. This console war crap is stupid, it's immature, it's dumb. Look at this objectively and you'll see that, Nintendo really brought their A game for the most part. With all things considered, with the whole pandemic and everything, I mean, I thought that they showed I thought their showing was pretty decent. Was pretty decent, man. For me personally, like I said, I think I said this, but I would probably give it a C. But objectively speaking, it's probably a B. But it's probably a C plus for me. But it's probably a B. So I'd probably have to give this E3 to Nintendo. So yeah, Nintendo saved E3. Nintendo finally won. Nintendo won twice in a row. Man, that should tell you something, man. Without Sony, man, without Sony, it's not the same, man. And considering the pandemic and all these things that's happened, God, man, E3, God, man. But yeah, congrats to Nintendo. They won E3. This was a really good presentation. If you're a hardcore Nintendo fan, this was like a wet dream to you. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say in regards to the Nintendo Direct for E3 2021. Thank you guys for listening, for watching, and all that. Like the video, subscribe, and all that jazz. And I'm out of here. Peace.